We've lost the ability to understand what level of outrage to even demonstrate. Which brings us to this weekend, where the absurdity outrage cycle reached its apex at a Trump campaign in Pennsylvania.
I'm going to tell them the real story of Arnold. But Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women.
With far-right internet troll Laura Loomer, a 9/11 conspiracy theorist who Trump brought to a 9/11 ceremony yesterday.
The extremists who are in Donald Trump's inner circle, let me set this up for you. Far-right activist Laura Loomer, she posted a racist message about Kamala Harris saying, quote, "If the vice president wins, the White House will smell like curry." Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is no stranger to divisive rhetoric, she called it out.
Did Donald Trump really cheat on marital partner with a woman named Laura Loomer? Picture this, a former president of America taking a cross-country flight with an infamous online personality who has become notorious for peddling conspiracy theories and racist rants. Now throw into the mix Jon Stewart, a master of satire, with a field day analysis of the ridiculousness of the whole affair. That has all the airs of a scene straight out of the best circus. And yet it is not. This is real life. The question on everyone's mind, did Laura Loomer cheat on Donald Trump? Get ready because this story has drama involving Twitter, ridiculous statements, and a MAGA soap opera that has everyone chuckling and rolling their eyes.
A 9/11 truther at a 9/11 ceremony. Is that like an atheist going to Easter Mass? Well, I don't believe in any of this, but as long as you guys are having fun, you know?
Laura Loomer, who refers to herself as the most banned woman on the internet, is not a new name in controversy. Most popular for her distasteful comments and conspiracy theories, she has remained relevant as she continues to be banned from more than one social media platform. Her association with Donald Trump, however, especially in 2016, has extended her reputation to new levels. Real quick, if you're enjoying this content and want more insights just like this one, hit that subscribe button and help us reach these topics to a wider audience. Thank you for the support, and now let's jump back in.
And if you want an idea of just how extreme Loomer is, Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling her out for being racist. And not even in a stop stealing my bit kind of way. I didn't even know there was a level of racist above Marjorie Taylor Greene.
For instance, Loomer recently joined Trump at a 9/11 memorial, an event that created controversy with political watchers on both sides. Some asked why Trump, a man who was sued for revolving around controversies, would be friends with someone as controversial as Loomer. Well, funny man Jon Stewart, always up to the task of making political pairs look silly, took a good tongue bashing at the relationship.
Her rhetoric and her tone does not match the base, does not match MAGA, does not match most Republicans I know, and I'm completely denouncing it. I'm over it, and I would encourage anyone else that matches her statements to stop.
To say that Loomer has a history of making objectionable comments would be putting it mildly. For example, she called Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee a ghetto bitch, a congresswoman who proved unpopular. In the case of the vice president, Kamala Harris, Loomer wrote that if the vice president won the White House, it would smell like curry. Loomer later tried to say that such remarks were merely jokes, but failed to change Jon Stewart's mind.
Loomer is now apparently part of Trump's entourage. In fact, Trump brought her with him to the 9/11 events in New York yesterday, even though she is a 9/11 conspiracy theorist.
In a playful analogy, Jon Stewart described Trump as a bull in a china shop, and the coupling with Loomer is one of them. Trump's willingness to meet with Loomer at the 9/11 memorial dedicated to the victims of the tragedy is ironic at best and tone-deaf at worst. As Stewart said, it's like inviting an expert in climate change denial to give a keynote speech during an environmental conference.
You can always tell when it's going south, when the ship is sinking. It's because the person like Trump, the nut at the center of it, starts surrounding himself with, he normally surrounds himself with pretty crazy people. But this Laura Loomer, I don't know if you know anything about her, but this is, I want to go through the list of conspiracy theorists, but we thought this would be a good week to get the audience to know her a little better. She's the new groupie in Trump's circle.
Jon, good to see you. Your thoughts on Laura Loomer suddenly being in Trump's inner circle and the idea of bringing her to 9/11 events, that's a choice.
On the surface, she's silly. but underneath all of that, she's just an attention-seeking, self-absorbed, me. But her rhetoric's gonna get someone hurt. Her rhetoric might get someone killed.
What do you say?
Rather soon, the conflict grew more profound. Loomer charged Green with being a raging anti-Semite. The latter responded in kind. When these big brands went to war on social media, it looked like two bull elephants were clashing over the last remaining peanut. Of course, using Trump's involvement in the circus can complicate his decisions. Why would a former president have anything to do with someone as controversial as Loomer? Someone pointed out that Trump definitely has controversies and is surrounded by people who revel in this notion of a civilian political order. However, as Jon Stewart once said, this approach can go wrong.
Official drink of America first.
This is far-right activist Laura Loomer and white nationalist Nick Fuentes cheering to
the hostile takeover of the Republican Party.
Absolutely.
And they're not wrong. Both met personally with Donald Trump. I first met Loomer in 2017 at an event for manosphere influencer Mike Cernovich.
The most shocking aspect of Loomer's attendance at the 9/11 memorial is her previous comment that 9/11 was an inside job. The same can be said when it comes to her attendance. It felt more like she was using the events to remember the fallen rather in a token way. As Jon Stewart once said, it must have been like an actual flat earther going to a NASA launch. However, Loomer tried to play it down and say that she was just a visitor to the church service, but the damage was done. Her critics, including Stewart, perceived her as the enlargement of the electronic absurdity in Trump's political sphere.
At the time, Loomer was an activist who'd celebrated the deaths of Muslim migrants. But she was being harassed by white nationalist trolls because she's a Jewish woman.
The Loomer-Green case and Trump's connection with individuals like Loomer reflect Trump's major problem with the MAGA community. The movement, which was once defined by a stated ideology, now looks anti-desperate, with its leaders trying to one-up each other.
A notable appearance since Loomer has pushed the false conspiracy theory that 9/11 was an inside job. She's been seen with Trump a lot.
We're here at Bedminster. I'm with the greatest president ever.
This internal problem forces question marks as to what the future of this movement is. Jon Stewart said it best when he pointed out that Trump's political advisors did nothing more than create a Jenga tower ready for an earthquake.
When Elon Musk took over Twitter, she came back. She does stunts like ambush interviews.
Frank, why aren't you supporting President Trump? I'm a successful investigative journalist.
Amid the Trumps, Jon Stewart offered a sobering reminder. These are not caricature figures in contemporary America. These are players in the American political scene. Stewart called on viewers to think about what it means for people to donate money to those like Loomer and Green. His critique was not only the ridiculousness of the Trump-Loomer story, it was a chance for the voter to demand something, but also the voter's call. Stewart was concerned that this planet was too important to be used as a reality TV show, as politics indicates.
Just from her tweets, just on her podcast, just things that come out of her mouth. She's ugly on the inside. She's an empty vessel. She's cancerous, and it seems that Donald Trump attaches to people like that.
Whatever the truth in the Trump-Loomer case, it was one of those controversies inspiring trust only in television for all the right reasons. The dating app, Twitter feeds, social media slurs, political instability, and revolt-worthy mischievous acts, all amusingly narrated. But beneath the humor lies a serious question. What message does this spectacle convey about the condition of American politics?
Laura, how are you? You look so beautiful, as always. You don't want to be Loomered. If you're Loomered, you're in deep trouble. Trump!
Good morning, everybody. My name is Laura Loomer.
She ran for Congress twice and lost. But she told me she built a constituency among the very pro-Trump voters in the Villages, a retirement community that's important in Florida Republican politics.
Jon Stewart's critique of the bizarre and often puzzling relationship between Laura Loomer and Donald Trump isn't just comedic fodder. It's a commentary on the broader implications of political alliances and public perception. While much of the public fixates on the alleged affair, Stewart's sharp wit exposes the absurdity and underlying chaos of the Trump-centric political world. Laura Loomer's infamy didn't come out of nowhere. She spent years cultivating a brand of outrageousness that thrives in the modern media landscape. From getting banned on nearly every major social media platform to staging dramatic protest against tech companies, Loomer has demonstrated that in today's world, controversy can be a shortcut to relevance. Her alignment with Donald Trump not only solidified her reputation as a provocateur, but also highlighted Trump's tendency to attract and empower divisive figures.
Laura, how are you? You look so beautiful, as always. You don't want to be Loomered. If you're Loomered, you're in deep trouble. Trump!
Good morning, everybody. My name is Laura Loomer.
She ran for Congress twice and lost.
The relationship between Trump and Loomer also sheds light on the broader identity crisis within the MAGA movement. What started as a populist wave promising to drain the swamp has increasingly devolved into a factional, personality-driven spectacle. Loomer's role within this dynamic is emblematic of the movement's shift away from ideological coherence toward a more fragmented and theatrical form of politics. Jon Stewart never one to shy away from biting analogies, liken the MAGA movement to a reality show, where contestants constantly try to outdo each other in outrageousness. In this game, Loomer is a frontrunner. However, Stewart also noted that this strategy comes with risks. While it might energize a small but vocal segment of the population, it alienates more moderate voters who are left scratching their heads at the movement's lack of substance.
Her rhetoric and her tone does not match the base, does not match MAGA, does not match most Republicans I know, and I'm completely denouncing it. I'm over it.
The Trump-Loomer saga is also a case study of the power of social media to amplify and distort political narratives. Loomer, dubbed the most banned woman on the internet, has managed to remain a prominent figure despite her deplatforming. Her ability to generate headlines and spark debates underscores the reality that social media, even when weaponized against individuals, can be a double-edged sword. One of the most glaring ironies in the Trump-Loomer controversy is Loomer's past statement and actions. Her history of promoting conspiracy theories, including claims that 9/11 was an inside job, stands in stark contrast to her appearance at a 9/11 memorial alongside Trump. Critics, including Stewart, have pointed out the hypocrisy of this situation. Loomer's presence at such an event, given her past remarks, undermines the solemn of the occasion and raises questions about Trump's judgment in aligning himself with her.
Yeah, she posted on social media saying that it was an inside job. She was also seen getting off his plane. You see the video here. This is in Philadelphia, just ahead of the debate. Some of Loomer's comments, though, have proven to be too extreme for some in MAGA world. CNN's Manu Raju's following this story. Manu, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is not holding back going after Loomer, and now other Republicans are joining her. What are they saying?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene, someone herself who has been very outspoken, very controversial.
Stewart's commentary didn't just mock the absurdity of the situation. It also served as a sobering reminder of the stakes involved. Political leaders, Stewart argued, have a responsibility to uphold certain standards of decency and respect, especially when it comes to events like 9/11 commemorations. By inviting someone like Loomer, Trump not only disrespected those standards, but also demonstrated a troubling disregard for optics and accountability. Beyond the immediate drama, the Loomer-Trump story reflects a larger issue: the erosion of traditional political norms in favor of sensationalism. Stewart, with his characteristic blend of humor and insight, urged viewers to see through the noise and focus on the underlying implications. He warned that as long as figures like Loomer and Trump dominate the political stage, the line between governance and entertainment will continue to blur, with potentially disastrous consequences for democracy.
I have concerns about her rhetoric and her hateful tone. To me, many of the comments that she makes and how she attacks Republicans like me, many other Republicans that are strong supporters of President Trump, I think they're a huge problem. And that doesn't represent MAGA as a whole.
Considering Jon Stewart's American idea, everybody can find not only laughter but also some understanding of the situation. Stewart encouraged people to stop making logical assumptions about the event and instead act responsibly and land the leadership task. Still, as Stewart would probably say, politics is not a comedy. This is not a clown car crash. This is about government. There you have it. The fascinating show of the week. I hope you chuckle. Though remember to ponder the imminent goals of this political theater for politics. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get some meaning and clarity from the noise. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to our channel if you found this content valuable. See you in the next video.